Okay, in this video we're going to provide a quick overview on the ICHRA affordability feature that we've just added to BenefitSystemsOS. So to get there, we are going to click on quoting, and I'm going to select from my employers. Now this is the demo account, so employers have demo names. I'm going to use test employer here, and we're going to click on insurance quotes. And we'll go ahead and select the 2026 renewal batch that's already been created, and we already have a quote that's been created, so we'll jump right into it. I'm going to choose ICHRA here, of course, and we're not going to worry about analysis in this because we've already done that, and affordability is handled inside of contribution design. So I click contribution design, we'll grab our first scenario here, and now it's calculating or pulling the ICHRA data. So we have three views here inside of the contribution design. We won't spend much time on funding design or funding schedule, but funding design is where you build your strategy. So you target a plan strength category here. So for example, 80, and we'll just leave the contributions here at 70, or I'll just put them up to 75 so you can see how the interaction works. Now, but the thing to bear in mind is that for affordability, dependent calculations are not in effect. So this is where we would set funding or design the funding. The funding schedule is more of the business case. This is the thing that you would take to an employer to kind of show the employee effect, the employer effect, budgets, employee impact, that kind of thing. But affordability is where we deal with compliance and answer the question of whether or not this strategy would meet affordability requirements under ICHRA. So as a reminder, under ICHRA, affordability is based upon the lowest cost silver plan in the area where the employee lives. It can be based upon the employer's zip code where the employee works. That can get a bit complicated. So for this service, we have simply based it on the employee's zip code. And so it's based, the affordability is based on a 9.96% threshold of income relative to the lowest cost silver plan. So in other words, if the employee's cost after the ICHRA contribution is more than 9.96% of their annual income, we've shown it in monthly totals here just to align with premiums, but if it accounts for more than 9.96% of their income, then under federal rules, the ICHRA is considered unaffordable. So what we're doing here is we have calculated the lowest cost silver plan for each employee. So you can see the employee here in the census batch. You've got some basic demographic information, their age, their zip code. The premium is based upon the employee cost only, so it's not family dependent contributions. That doesn't affect affordability, so we've left it out. You have the rating area just for information. You have the insurer or the issuer, that's the insurance company who is sponsoring the lowest cost silver plan. You have the network information where available, and then we have the plan name here. This column, the lowest cost silver plan premium, is the total premium. We have the ICHRA contribution that was defined here in funding design, and then we have the employee cost after the contribution. Now the minimum income is where we tried to solve the problem. So one of the challenges that you have with affordability testing is that just from a practical standpoint, a broker needs to have the employee's income, which oftentimes they don't when they're doing their typical quoting process. That's not always been a typical part of the general quoting process. It's usually included downstream in the plan submission and case submission, but that data is sometimes hard to get. So what we have done is we have created this minimum income column to give you some flexibility in how you communicate with your employers, where based upon this contribution, this column is calculating the employee's minimum income where an ICHRA would be, this ICHRA strategy would be considered unaffordable. So in this case, based upon this ICHRA contribution of $520.31 for Bill Billerson, the employee cost being $83.16, if the employee's minimum monthly income is less than $834.94, then their ICHRA would be considered unaffordable. If their income's greater than that amount, then their ICHRA would be considered affordable. Additionally, we have the ability to download in Excel. So just to show you what that looks like, it's going to be the same data just laid out in Excel format. So you have the employees, the age and zip code information, rating area, issuer, and then lowest cost silver plan, premiums, contributions, minimum income, and then of course it's modifiable, so you can add information and do Excel logic or Excel work if that's something that you would like to do.